Right then, so here is ThiEYE T5 or T5e, which is a raw 4K 30 frames a second action camera. Well, the original Eye was a very high quality camera, so I'm expecting this will be good. I better get it out of the case, put it on charge, put a card in and see what it looks like. Okay, well, let's get it out to start with. Right, well, before I put it on charge, I'm going to slip in a micro card. This is a SanDisk Ultra 32 gig, class 10. Should always be using good quality class 10 cards or above with these kinds of cameras. So you can see it goes in that way, logo side towards the back. I've no doubt it will charge without a card in. Another thing about the card, it's always worth formatting it inside the camera. No doubt it's in the menu somewhere. Now, as you can see there, it comes with two batteries. There isn't one inside the camera, so obviously before I put it on charge, what I've got to do is put a battery in. Easy enough to see which way it goes. You've got three little lugs there, three little lugs on the inside, so it goes in that way up. Right, let's get it on charge. Right, we can see it's charging there. The little battery icon is showing that it's filling up. Most of these cameras charge more quickly if you turn the power off, which I've just done. And as you can see, there is a red light on. That chances are that goes out when it's charged. I'll have a look in the manual for a change. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so let's see what you get in the box here. You've got the camera, which looks nicely finished, no open seams, has a nice feel to it, quite a nice weight as well. Doesn't come with the battery installed. Now you see there's a little tab on there which says lock. It went in quite easily when I put the battery in before. Just a question of sliding that over, slip the battery in, you'll see there's three little terminals. And of course, if you do want to lock the battery, you push that tab up. You've got the waterproof case, which again looks nicely made, glass lens on the front. You've got the slide-in mount that takes the bracket and some spare adhesive pads. Coming to the bracket here, I've never seen one quite like this before. This is a kind of locking tab. So to put it in, you lift the tab up, push the bracket in, push the tab in, but I can't imagine that's going to fall out in a million years. They also say this is rotatable, which it is quite stiff, but this mount rotates. Now clearly this just fits on here with a locking screw. Now I think you may need at some point some additional offsets here. For example, when I did my motorcycle clip, I use a couple of clips because I put it on the side of the helmet and mount it like that, but this is as much as you need to get going really, because you can mount that on the side. No, you can't mount it on the side of your helmet, it's got to be on the top. So as I say, you might need some more standoffs, no major thing. Did I mention, comes with two batteries, which is quite unusual. You've got the USB charging lead, and of course you've got the manual, which is in many languages, as you can see. Now there's a T5 and a T5e. This is the T5e. I can't actually find out what the difference is, although when you look at the packing details here, it says accessories in the T5e only have things with a little dib on, which is micro USB, quick start guide, and so on. So I can only imagine the T5 comes with more accessories, anti-fog inserts, cloth bag. As far as the housing goes, you can get an additional back for it with an open back, so that'll let some sound in if you don't need a waterproof case. And it looks as though you can get additional rotating buckles. Manual looks quite good explaining what you have to do. There is a Wi-Fi app, which I come to later. I've also seen in there's a Bluetooth remote you can get as an optional extra. I've already installed the app, I'll show you that in a bit. Charge it until the red light goes out. Change mode by switching through, which I'll come to in a minute. Does the usual stuff like burst photos, time-lapse. One thing I'd mention is the screensaver is default not to turn the screen off, so battery life won't be as good if you leave the screen on all the time when you're recording. Easy enough to change that to shut down in 30 seconds or whatever. And there's some other stuff in here about mounts, optional mounts, but they only show you actually putting it on a flat surface. There's an optional chest strap, wrist strap, floating hand grip and a bike mount. So not a great mass of accessories, but all the same, as much as you need. Right, so let's take a look at the camera. On the front here you've got a 170-degree wide angle lens. You've got a couple of little LEDs, status LEDs. The lower one in a red tells you whether you're in video or camera mode. The upper one is Wi-Fi mode. Obviously that's power and mode change button. Lens there. One thing it doesn't come with is a lens cap, but if you look through my channel you'll see how I've suggested you make one out of a bottle cap. And seeing as how it's quite a convex lens, probably a good idea to have a lens cap. Easy enough to make one, but why don't they put one in the packaging? On this end you've got HDMI out, the lead is an optional extra, micro USB and a slot for the micro card. Max 32 gig, class 10 recommended. On the top here you've got mic holes, you've got the shutter button, which is also the Wi-Fi button. If you press and hold it turns on the Wi-Fi for the app. On this end you've got scrolling up and down buttons, pretty straightforward to use. They don't really tell you about operation much in the manual, but it is pretty straightforward. On the base here I mentioned the slot for the battery. It's also got a tripod screw mount and another LED. Now this camera has got plenty of LEDs to tell you when it's actually recording, which is a great thing. Flashes on the front, flashes here, flashes on the top, and of course flashes here. So you're never in any doubt when this is recording. So, and on the back you've got this lovely screen. So turn it on, press the power button for 3 seconds, and here you are. You've got some little icons here that tell you which mode you're in. I'm in video mode, 1920 by 1080 at 60p, that's normal 1080, 16 by 9 screen. I'm in fine. Default setting for video is fine as opposed to normal. You've got sound on, you've got the battery state. Interestingly enough, didn't see this mentioned in the manual, but if you toggle or press the up and down button, one or the other, you'll see that little symbol goes yellow. You can actually turn the audio or sound recording off by toggling that. So something to be careful of. If you deliberately want to record audio, make sure that that's not showing yellow. That says the capacity of card, you've got date, time there, and a little blue light. So, and also it's got gyro stabilization. You can see the little symbol there maybe, showing a hand. That means I've got IES turned on, which is a gyro stabilization. First off, anyway, simply to start video, it's a question of press the button. You can see it's counting down, blue light flashing, blue light flashing, blue light flashing, blue light flashing. You know when this is recording and it's counting down the recording. Press again. Now I've turned off the beeps because, as I mentioned in my video, some of my videos had a little beep, and now there is a thing called shutter beep which you can set. Well, when the shutter beep was set, the beep was coming out on the video, so I have turned that off. So that's video mode. Press the mode button on the front here once. You're in camera mode. Doesn't do a click, but it shows I'm in superfine 16 meg, and this of course has got the Sony IMX117 sensor and the Ambarella chip, so it's capable of some very good video and genuine 4K at 30 frames a second, not interpolated 4K. So that's photo mode. Press again, you're in playback mode with sound. Press again, you're in photo mode. Press again, you're in the settings menu. So if I now press the shutter button, I'm in all the video resolutions, and there are loads of them. I'm going to list them here now. As you can see, there are too many to actually discuss. I generally use 1080-60, 16 by 9. It will actually do 1080-120, which is unusual, and it will also do 240 at 720. but a massive settings there. Now to change the setting, you just scroll up and down with this button, press the shutter again and you're in it. But I'm going to leave it in 1080/60 16:9. Press the shutter, I'm in it. Okay, so scroll through these. You've got photo size, video quality. I'm not going to go through each one in turn. Default, quick capture, which I imagine means turn it on and it will fire straight away. EIS, which is the electronic image stabilization, I think it stands for, which is the gyro. Motion detect, dual files, never sure why they want you to save dual files. Video stamp on or off. Incidentally, you can take video while it's charging. Photo stamp on or off. Time-lapse video, so you can do time-lapse. Loop recording if you want to use it in a car. Sorry, I'm racing through these. Self-timer will let you put it on a wall and take pictures of yourself if you're into that kind of thing. Burst photos, you can have 3 per second, 5 per second, 10 per second. Time-lapse photo, auto DVR, probably turns it on when you power it up for car use. TV mode, PAL or NTSC. Light frequency is for playback if you're in a 50 Hz or 60 Hz area. On-screen display, auto shutdown, screen off. Status LEDs, you can turn them on and off on the front if you don't want people to see your blue flashing light. Beep on or off, as I mentioned, you can get the beep comes out on the video, it seems to me. Mic volume, turn up and down. Sharpness, white balance, auto, but you can change that. A very sophisticated white balance menu. But generally speaking, I tend to leave things on auto, or it gets too complicated. Auto. Exposure value, I won't explain that, but you can make it light or darker if you want. Scene mode, there's another interesting one. Normal, flash, landscape, sport. Not quite sure what that does. Probably changes the F value. Effects, you've got ISO, which is basically film speed. Metering, I did change from center to multi because I like to get the overall average of a exposure. But you can change the metering, time setup, date format, language. Bluetooth pair is for the optional accessory Bluetooth remote. Wi-Fi passwords, format the card, and as I think I mentioned, probably a good idea when you put a card in to format it within the camera. Default setting just puts it to default, and that is the firmware value. So that runs through those. Now if I want to come out of that, it's just to press the mode button, and as you can see, I'm back in my camera mode. Simple as that. Well, it is simple once you've had it for a day or two, and that's all I've done with this so far. So all in all, I must say, test video I've seen so far has been very impressive. As good as the Yomi, and as good as one of the 4K SJ cams that I've tested. So I hope you found this helpful. Have a look through the comments before you ask me a question. Somebody may have asked it, or I've probably answered it in here. For example, Wi-Fi password 12345678990 will be mentioned in the Wi-Fi, so you don't need to ask me. Right, I'm going to come on to the app next. Hold your breath. Turn it off 2 or 3 seconds. Right, the Wi-Fi app. Pretty rubbish phone I've got here. It's a Motorola Moto G 2nd Gen or something, but it has got a quad-core processor, and most of these apps will need a quad-core processor for them to work. And also, I don't know anything about iPhones, so please don't ask. I'm no doubt Google and YouTube will help you with that. So first thing to do, turn the Wi-Fi on. I've already installed this, so I won't need to put in the password, but it is 12345678990. Turn the phone on. Press and hold the Wi-Fi button. And as you can see, little Wi-Fi symbols popped up there. And with a bit of luck, you've also got red light on the front to show that Wi-Fi is on. With a bit of luck, it's going to show on here. In fact, I could refresh it. That will bring it up. Try refresh. The iCam, no internet detected. Do I want to connect? Yes, okay. Connect. Now on the Moto G, it actually comes up with, there's no internet here. Do you want to connect? Any second. There it is. Do I want to connect? Yes. Now this may be a problem with some phones because the previous Android version wouldn't let me connect to phone apps. because there was no internet there. That is something to bear in mind. Anyway, I've installed the app. All I did was scan the QR code. You can get a QR code scanner free, and here's the app. Make sure you're using the right app, which I am. Connect failed. Well, it might be because it's... I tested this last night and it worked fine, but it might be because it sat too close to it. Connect again. Sometimes they just don't work when you're testing. That's better, worked that time. Might be my phone. As you can see, it's actually connected and shows you what's on my phone, which is me and my camera here looking at the camera. Now, obviously what you can do with the app is you can start video. I'll put that there so you'll be able to see. Flashing it started video, and it tells you what settings it's on. I'm in video mode. Strength of the Wi-Fi, 1080/60, 16:9, what's on the card. Stop the video. Change settings. Much the same menu as you've got in the camera. Video quality, time-lapse, photo settings, burst photos and so on. Change to camera mode. I better not go too fast with this. Change to camera mode, burst photos, self-timer. Come out of that by going back. Now, interestingly enough, if you press the video camera, you've got another options menu here, which I didn't totally understand. Some of it's fairly obvious, like you've got loop recording, you've got delayed photo, and I think one of these is time-lapse, but I wasn't quite sure what that was. Maybe somebody could tell me. Ah, yes. I'm pretty sure you can download to your camera too, but I'm not going to do it because it will take hours and hours because this very slow connection here. But all in all, very useful app. Range, they say, is about 10 meters, so you could always, if you wanted to record some wildlife, you could put the camera somewhere, providing it wasn't on auto power down or it was shut down. You could monitor the scene with your app here and start the video when the wildlife appears or whatever. And you can also review, if you're doing a sporting event and you've got a tablet with you, you could also review the video footage on the tablet while you're out and about, which is very handy. Took me a while to connect that time, worked perfectly yesterday, but all in all, useful app. Hope that's helpful. Well, people sometimes ask me how you get the files off the camera. Now, with nearly all of these cameras, you plug in the USB lead into your computer and it recognises the camera as an external storage device. So with this one, you turn on, you've got a menu, mass storage, press shutter. So it comes up on your computer as removable disk, and you've got 3 files there: Amber, Event, Miscellaneous. Amber is obviously short for Ambarella, which is the chip, and conveniently they're in a date file. So these are my clips that I shot today around the town, and if I open it, you'll see all the individual files. By a right click on your mouse, you can cut and paste or copy and paste and put them in a file on your computer. Of course, you could always take out the microcard as well and put it in a reader, but I hope that's helpful. Here's one of my favourite test clips. All of the clips, unless otherwise stated, are at 1080/60 plus default settings. This one's got some nice detail on the painting and the brickwork, and as you pan round, you've got some good stuff in the distance down there towards the harbour, and some lovely detail on the brickwork here. And this is my other favourite test shot. This is at default settings, apart from the fact it's 1080/60, and I tend to put metering on average as opposed to spot. So there's some good detail here on the buildings, the windows, good colour. and on the rigging on the boats. Also gives a chance to see the detail on the rigging. Oh, I just said that. So I'm going to do another one now, but at 4K so that I can zoom in so you can see the detail. Right, this is the 4K test, and the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that it's not actually the same day, because when I took the 1080 clips yesterday I didn't get the setting right when I took the 4K clip, so I'm down here today and miraculously the sun's come out. But the point I was making was, one advantage of 4K is that you can zoom in when you're editing and use just a portion of the frame and still get lots of detail. Only at 30 frames a second, so if you're doing an action sport, 1080-60 is probably the setting to use. You may notice there's a beep at the end of some of these videos, and that is because it's the beep when you press the shutter. So I intend to turn that off just to see if that actually stops the beep, which it should do. Okay, this is the same shot but with the beep turned off. So presumably that has stopped the beep at the end of the video. Incidentally, this is a replica of Sir Francis Drake's boat, which he set sail in 1577 and did a great voyage of discovery. Most of the video that I've shot around town is my hometown of Brixham in Devon in the south of England, which is a major fishing port, or was one of the UK's most major fishing ports. Now, just for a change, for my dark pub or low light test, I'm going to use a different pub this time. This is the old market house, which used to be the fish market in Brixham. Of course, actually the fish market now is much bigger and over the other side of the harbour. So let's see how it works in here. I'm okay, thanks. Well, just for a change, not the usual shots in town. This is Stoke Gabriel on the River Dart, which is in South Devon, not far from where I live, and it's where I keep my dinghy. It's the local little sailing club. As you can see, I'll pan round quickly here. Dinghy's on the foreshore. Got a little town over there and a church. And of course, as you can see, it's low water at the minute, which is why there's lots of mud here. And the River Dart.